This is Off the Ice, the Nanaimo Clippers hockey show on 106.9 The Wolf. With the latest news on the Clippers and the BCHL, here's Dan Marshall.
November is underway. The Nanaimo Clippers, 3 games in 3 days over the weekend, and difficult to really put into words what happened on the weekend. We'll try to as the night goes along. We'll have head coach and general manager Mike Vandekamp right with us off the top. Also, we'll be joined by DJ Petruzzelli and Zach Court, a couple of newcomer Clipper forwards. Later on, Evan Hammond, the voice of the Alberni Valley Bulldogs. The Clippers have the Bulldogs twice this week, Tuesday night and Friday. Tuesday on the road, Friday at Frank Crane Arena. By the way, that's Friday the 13th. Saturday, it's the Langley Rivermen in town. We'll talk to the voice of the Rivermen as well, Jake Elliott. And we want to also get you out to the game, whether it's Friday or Saturday, whether it's another game, with some trivia. Answer a trivia question right. It's multiple choice, so you have a 33% chance of getting this right. And Joe D, what's our trivia question for this evening?
Well, like you said, the Clippers need a road win tomorrow in Alberni Valley. Their road record is 3-6-0-1. Who was their last road win against? Is it 1, Merritt, 2, Cowichan, or 3, Coquitlam?
There you go. Go to our Facebook page. Joe will have the question up there. And correct answer, you might get yourself a pair of tickets to an upcoming Nanaimo Clipper home game. We'll start with the head coach and general manager of the Clippers, Mike Vandekamp. And coach, let's go, I suppose, by day as we go through a very busy weekend. There's lots of discussion points. Let's start with Thursday, a travel day. The team leaves very early to get to Castlegar, very close to Trail, and bed down. When you look at the preparation level, when you look at that day as you review it, did that go pretty much according to plan? Was there anything that was foreshadowing of what was to come on Thursday's travel day?
No, it's smooth sailing, for sure. And, I think that when you have a long trip like that, you try to get where you need to get to because there's all sorts of things that can take place. Obviously, weather and breakdowns and all kinds of things. So you want to make sure that you can get over the mountain passes and all those things and get where we need to go. And we got into Trail, into Castlegar, as you said, pretty slick. And, I think we were set up and ready to go into Friday. And Friday morning we got on the ice in Trail, tried to have a skate there just to, get the legs going and get back get back into the swing of things, having taken Thursday just to travel and try to prepare ourselves with the morning skate there on Friday morning and get ready for the game.
We'll look at Friday as a whole, but Friday led to a theme for me of very strong starts on the road. I think you were the better team clearly for about 5.5 minutes or so. Against Trail, didn't result in a goal, but I thought you were the better team. Against Penticton, I thought you were clearly the better team for a lot longer, probably until their first power play, as a matter of fact, on Saturday. And then I thought a fantastic start. Energy, your guys were ornery in West Kelowna, and you got the 1-0 lead there. Starting on the road isn't easy. It hasn't always been a positive for this team, but I thought your starts were very good in all 3 games on the weekend.
Yeah, yes, I agree. I think we got off to a great start on Friday night. I thought we had good energy. We got 18 shots in the first period overall, I think it was. And, we just, unfortunately there was a couple little turn of events, I thought the one goal was pretty weak, it just found its way in the net, and it's kind of a little bit against the flow. Their goalie was making some good stops at his end, and all of a sudden it's 1-0, and then we had this little trend all of a sudden where every defenseman we had on our team just about got put in the penalty box all at the same time, one stoppage after the other. Just kind of frustrating to watch. Just coincidental penalties, that kind of thing, and then all of a sudden you end up taking one more penalty and you're shorthanded, and you've got basically a minimal crew to choose from to kill that penalty. We had a forward that had to drop back and play D to try to get through the penalty kill, and they managed to score another goal, and all of a sudden it's 2-0, and I'm not sure that it really needed to be 2-0 or if that was really resembling of what was happening on the ice, to be honest. We got off to an okay start at the second, but we lost one face-off. They shot a puck, and it found its way into the net, and it was, again, not the strongest of goals. And all of a sudden it was 3-0, and we pulled our goaltender, and it just seemed as though we couldn't find any traction after that. Like, their goaltender got real confident in his end and was making some good stops, and sometimes the game just kind of unravels on you a little bit, even though you end up with 48 shots on goal and can only find a way to score one, and that was certainly a bit of an issue this weekend. I mean, we didn't capitalize on our own power play opportunities nearly as well as we needed to. Each of the games, and I know we're just talking about Friday right now, but each of the games was officiated in a very different fashion each game. I mean, the first game there was no calls at all for the longest period of time. You could just about do anything on the ice and get away with it. And then all of a sudden there'd be some calls, and we didn't take advantage of our own power play opportunities in games where there was no flow, a lot of choppiness, a lot of penalties being called, those types of games. And we have to learn to remain focused and play through those types of games, because as you know as well as anybody and been around the league a long time, there can be games like that in this league where there's just a lot of penalties. It's choppy, it lacks flow, and that little bit of adversity needs to be something that you get used to playing through. And I think on Friday we just didn't handle it well enough, and we found ourselves 0-1 on the trip, and and having to get on the bus and leave there and drive until about 3 in the morning there through the night to get to Penticton and get ready to play them.
Head coach and general manager of the Clippers, Mike Vandekamp, in our first segment. When we come back, you're going to find out what the CCC is, and we're going to talk with Zach Court and DJ Petruzzelli of the Clippers on Off the Ice.
Now, back to Off the Ice, the Clippers Hockey Show on 106.9 The Wolf.
Back live on Off the Ice, the Clippers Hockey Show. We've got Zach Court and DJ Petruzzelli to join me, and you're going to find out at the end of this segment what the CCC is. And there's no prize. Normally we play a game with the players. There's no prize today. But the loser of the game has to wear the CCC. And that's not going to be fun for whoever loses the game. So you really want to win the game. But first, let's talk some hockey. Zach Court, DJ Petruzzelli. Zach, we'll start with you. 3-3 on the roads, and frustrating because there's 1 point out of there. Encouraging because against the best team in the country, you guys took them to 3-on-3 overtime. But looking back on it now, and it hasn't been that long even since the bus got back early this morning, what's your takeaway, Zach, from the road trip?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty tough weekend for us. But yeah, like you said, the game in Penticton was a big game for us. They're obviously a really good team, and we proved that we can, play with them. And, I think controlled that game. So that was a big game for us and can take a lot of positives out of that. And there was a lot of, things out of the game against Trail and West Kelowna that, also we can take a lot of positives, even though, the score was pretty lopsided. But, there's always things you can take out of it and, build off of. And, yeah, so it was a tough weekend, but got to kind of have a short memory. And it's game tomorrow, so that's a really important one for us.
The 3-3 going across the province, as far east as you go in the BC Hockey League. Does that compare to anything travel-wise you experienced in the USHL? Do you do 3-3s there and that type of a 3-3?
No, we never did a 3-3 last year, but it's always back-to-back games. And there were road trips that were 14 or 15 hours, but I'd never done a 3-3 before, so it's new.
DJ, I talked to Matt Hoover yesterday before the game against West Kelowna, and I said, is there some fatigue there? And he kind of smiled and admitted, for sure. What's the fatigue factor, like the mental, the physical fatigue, when you're on a grinding 3-game road trip? You've been on a couple of these BCHL 3-gamers now, so what are you taking away from that?
Yeah, well, we get really excited for games, and so after, when things don't go your way, there's usually like a little bit of a mental let down, and obviously the physical toll of hockey's pretty severe sometimes, and that can get to you too, but there's lots of things you can do to keep yourself sharp and ready to go.
I thought that you personally were in a really nasty mood to start the game on the very first shift, even before the puck was dropped. And I think, for yourself, for your line, for your team, that's the way that you want to play. And it got them off their game. You got the 5-on-3 and you get the early goal. Did you feel really good about the way you guys started that game and set a tone for the team against West Kelowna?
Yeah, well, Vandy wanted us to send the message right away that we were here to play. And so off the opening faceoff, got a bit involved there and caused a penalty, and we were able to score right away, get ourselves off to a lead.
Your team has started, I think, all 3 games on the trip. You started as the better team. Trail, Penticton, West Kelowna. But adversity has come, and in the Penticton game, you handled it very well. Against Trail and West Kelowna, I think you say, you know what, we need to handle it better. So what do you need to do? Adversity is going to strike at some point in your next game against the Bulldogs. What do you need to do to rise above it?
Well, I think we can be a little more disciplined and stay calm in big situations, and then just capitalize when we get our opportunities, and yeah, just keep it simple, and yeah.
Zach, I was just talking to Coach Mike Vandekamp, and we were talking about secondary scoring. Obviously, the big line has been very good with Hoover, Rempel, and Brasso. You're one of the next guys I think that the coach looks to provide that secondary scoring. Do you feel some pressure in doing that, or do you like the fact that you're one of the guys that the coach is going to look at to go, we need goals from you?
Yeah, no, it's, good confidence-wise, knowing that he can, rely on me if we needed, an empty net goal or something like that. But I think it's not pressure. It's a little bit more motivation. Obviously we've had a lot of scoring from the first line. And then the second line with Abel and Dodaro, we've started to get some good chemistry going a little bit more this weekend. Abe's is kind of a newer player. Hasn't been here for too long, so he's kind of starting to gel with me and Chris a little bit more. So I think that's going to keep coming a little bit more. But yeah, it's big for us. We need to start getting some more scoring from, throughout the lineup. I think that'll help our team in a big way.
I don't know if you're like a lot of guys that I talk to, but a lot of guys like consistency of line mate. You come into the team late, and you're playing a lot with Corey Renwick and Chris Dodaro, and you're kind of the new guy, and then you get up to speed, and for the most part now you're playing with Nolan Abel, and he's still getting up to speed. Is that difficult to keep having guys in and out, and do you hope that maybe you 3 can stick together for a while and you can figure some things out as a unit?
Yeah, obviously you want to, build chemistry, like I said, pretty quickly, and try and keep a line going, just like our first line's been doing. And I think Corey Renwick helped a lot with that. He's a leader, a good guy off the ice. And he helped me and Chris really well with that. And then now having Abel, I'm kind of trying to fill the role of Renner and help Abe's a little bit here. But I think he's done a really good job. And like I said, we're starting to contribute a little bit more, and just got to keep going here. So
we have to talk about the goal against Victoria. Hauled down, scoring with 1.2 seconds left on the clock. That game seems like ages ago now. There's been so much hockey since then. But that has to be one of the more memorable plays, more memorable goals of your junior career.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably the biggest goal I've ever scored in my career for sure. I just don't even know how to describe it. It was kind of crazy. I didn't even know what really happened, but it was huge to get that for the boys, and it helped us, and it was a big win for us.
DJ, you've been the team's rookie scoring leader for most of the year. I think that's a feather in the cap, but at the same time, I think you're one of those guys that you'd like to do a little bit more. But is that something that you've taken note of, that's among rookies on this team, that you've been the top guy for most of the year?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess a little bit, but you don't really try not to look at stuff like that too much. Try not to get too ahead of yourself, and just keep things simple, and whatever coach asked me to do, that's what I'm going to do.
Zach's played junior already. You're coming in from high school hockey. Explain what high school hockey's like, where you played, how the league is, what the caliber of play is. We don't know a lot about high school hockey in the U.S., but you can give us a little bit of an indication here.
Yeah, well, high school hockey in Mass, it's pretty big. Like, hockey's a pretty big sport in New England, but definitely the skill-wise, it doesn't really compare to here much at all. I mean, there's some guys on teams that, go to higher levels, but for the most part, it's more guys who play hockey for fun, and I know it's still very competitive, but there's a big gap between the different types of players and stuff. But it's a lot of fun. You get to play with the kids you grew up with, and for your hometown, and it's fun to play for sure.
When you make that adjustment, and you're a scorer in high school hockey, and I think in junior A you can be that guy. I think you're kind of getting that sense yourself already. But is it interesting, and is it at all difficult? You're embracing a new role as somewhat a role player playing junior A so far.
Yeah, it's definitely different. But like I said, I'm going to do whatever coach asked me to do, and not get too frustrated. And hopefully the points and the scoring will come as time goes along here. And that's pretty much all I'm looking to do.
Do you have college aspirations? Is that why you decided to come to the BC Hockey League?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with Quinnipiac, they thought here was a great spot for me and for me to develop. And just keep doing the things I'm doing.
How did things start with Quinnipiac? When did they come to you? And also explain a little bit, because I think they might have had a role in having you come to Nanaimo and be a part of the junior A program here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the assistant at Quinnipiac I knows Mike pretty well and got things kind of going. I was actually talking to a couple USHL teams too. I was thinking about going out there, but they felt this was a better spot for me, and that's how I ended up here.
Are you committed to going to Quinnipiac next year, or might you be a 2-year guy? Some guys have deferred.
Yeah, it's kind of up in the air right now. They're just kind of seeing how I develop and how things go, but I think leaning more towards 2017 instead of 2016 because my brother's also committed there too, and we might end up going in the same year, so that'll be cool.
Zach, a Winnipeg boy you're always seemingly going back to the U.S. and the U.S. Hockey League, University of Nebraska, Omaha. Talk about your commitment to that school.
Yeah, I committed last year in about, I think it was October. Went down there for my visit and just nothing but good things to say about that place. Developed a good relationship with the coaches and unbelievable facilities, and the campus is amazing. And just unbelievable, and really excited to be going there. Plans to go in next year, but like you said, just all depends on my development and what kind of season I have right now.
Alberni Valley. I'll ask you both about a home-and-home series with that team, and DJ, we'll start with you. It's a critical road game. The record is 3-6-0-1 on the road. You went in there and you had a good start, had the leads. How critical is this game against the Bulldogs here tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow is absolutely enormous. It's a big game for everyone, I think. We need to get back on track here and get the ball rolling again, not only for just the guys, but for our segment and just everything. It's just overall, it's just an enormous game.
Zach, is it 6 periods against the same team, or right now is your focus just period 1 against the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I think our focus right now is just the first 10 minutes of the first period and taking it, step by step, shift by shift, and then that'll take care of itself. So I think the biggest thing is just taking it slow and, just doing all the right things and keeping it simple.
We're going to play a game now, DJ Petruzzelli and Zach Court. The loser of this game is going to have to wear the CCC. The game is called Where Are You From? Zach Court, you're from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Tell us about your hometown.
Winnipeg, it's not too much to say about it. Freezing. Plains, prairies. Not too much there, but it's home. I love it. I love the -40 weather in the winter and the backyard rinks and all that. So,
DJ, you're from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Tell us about your hometown.
Well, Wilbraham's a suburb of the city of Springfield in Massachusetts. It's a nice little town. It's not too populated, but good size. I don't know.
We're going to play a game now. It's called Where Are You From? Questions to each of you about your hometown. And whoever gets the most right doesn't have to wear the dreaded CCC. We'll start with DJ Petruzzelli. 7 questions for each of you guys. Don't finish worse than the other guy. DJ, what is the approximate population of Wilbraham, Massachusetts?
Oh, man. 35,000?
You're way high. 15,000, actually less than 15 at the 2010 census. You do not have a point yet. Zach Court, what is the population of Winnipeg?
700,000.
I'm going to give it to you. Winnipeg proper is 660, but Winnipeg, the broader area, is 730. You're right in the wheelhouse. I'm giving it to you. 1-0 Court. Okay, back to DJ. This is tough, I have to admit. What natural disaster struck Wilbraham on June 1st, 2011?
Tornado.
That is correct. DJ Petruzzelli's on the board. I heard there's actually 2 tornadoes that day. And if you look up the town, that's one of the big things that they say about the town. Do you remember that day? Were you there?
Yeah, it was actually a crazy day. I was at baseball practice, and all of a sudden the sky got like green, and we never get tornadoes, so we had no idea what was going on. And so everyone went home, obviously, and then the storm ensued. It didn't hit anywhere near my house, but there's a lot of spots in town that got pretty badly damaged, and my high school cathedral that I went to actually got destroyed in the tornado. So for my 4 years of high school, we actually were in an elementary school because the school never got rebuilt, and it still, to this day, has not been rebuilt. So
That's quite
kind
a story.
of a tough situation, but, we worked through it and ended up being a good 4 years. But, yeah, it was a pretty catastrophic event for Western Massachusetts, that's for sure.
It also gets DJ a point. It's 1-1 in Where Are You From? The game today we're playing on Off the Ice, the Clippers hockey show. Loser has to wear the dreaded CCC. Zach Court, Winnipeg lies at the confluence of which two major rivers?
Sittawin River and the Red River.
That is correct. You are 2 for 2. I'm trying to keep score so I don't mess this up. Back to DJ Petruzzelli. Which former NHLer is listed as being from Wilbraham?
Billy Guerin.
That is correct. Were you a fan of his growing up?
Oh, yeah, big fan of Billy. Great player.
The guys are doing well. Where are you from? Zach Court. It's reported that Winnipeg has the worst what in the world?
Winters?
Final answer?
Yeah.
No, drivers. Worst drivers in the world. 2-2 tie right now. Question number 4 for DJ Petruzzelli on Where Are You From? Wilbraham is the corporate headquarters for which ice cream company?
Friendlies.
That is correct. How good is the ice cream?
It's pretty good. I know a couple better spots, but it's pretty good ice cream.
3 right out of 4 for DJ Petruzzelli. 2 right out of 3 for Zach Court. This is a tough one, Zach, I have to admit. So I'll give you some leeway. How many days of the year is Winnipeg covered in snow on average? That is tough, but I'm going to give you some leeway.
Days of the year?
Yeah, days of the year. So it's going to be 365 or less. And I know it's less because I've been there. It's not always snowing.
I'm going to go with 250.
250. No, you're way high. 132. 132. That's according to the research that I've done. You're 2 for 4. DJ vaults into the lead at 3-2. I don't even know if this is a fair question, DJ, but I looked up online and it was one of the major, every website I went to, this was a major point. Can you name one of the ponds that Wilbraham is famous for?
Speck Pond.
That's right.
Yeah.
Spectacle Pond, and they said 9 Mile Pond as well. So why the famous ponds in Wilbraham?
I don't know. They're just like big community areas. Do some fishing. There's some baseball stuff, baseball fields and football fields around there. Other than that, I don't really know why they're so significant.
Pond country in Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Back to Zach Court. Zach, this is tough, but I think you're going to get this one. Winnipeg is known as the blank capital of the world because Winnipeggers consume 400,000 of these a year. Something that you have probably had at your time there. I don't know, it's maybe a snack item you might...
Slurpees?
Slurpees, there you go. I gave you a little hint there, but I knew you would get that one. Zach Court is back in 400,000 Slurpees from Winnipeggers every year. Tougher one for you, DJ, but I looked online, I double-checked it. How long would it take to fly to Wilbraham, according to an online search from here? I'm going to give you some leeway.
10 hours?
I'm going to give it to you. Okay. Leeway. It's actually a 9 and a bit. Close enough. I'm giving it to you. And Zach, you'll get some leeway too. Don't worry. We don't want you to have to wear the dreaded CCC. Zach, who is the highest scoring Winnipeg Jet of all time? That's in games played for the Jets.
Oh.
I'm assuming you're a big Winnipeg Jet fan.
Yes, I am.
You're a big fan. So I'll give you a hint because I was helping DJ a little bit. And I've helped you a bit too. You got to way back Jet. This is well before your time.
Dale Hawerchuk?
Dale Hawerchuk is absolutely correct. Pulls it out of the fire. 929 points. Second, do you know who was second? Could you guess? Thomas Steen was second. I was thinking Solani, but he's way down the list because most of his games weren't with Winnipeg. He was 9th, I think. That would have been my guess. But you're still very much in it. DJ, your toughest question comes here. Not a Wilbraham question, but certainly a New England question. Can you name the last year for each of the major 4 pro sports franchises in the area that they won their championship, because they've all been quite recent. So I'm looking for Bruins, Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox. I need the year. For you to get this question right, I need the year for each one.
2014 for the Sox.
2014 for the Sox? You're wrong already.
What? All right, 2015 for the Pats.
Okay, there you go. Yep. Sox was 2013.
Oh, yeah. 2011 for the Bruins.
Yep. Celtics?
I don't watch basketball, but 2012?
2008.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad. In the
not
ballpark
bad.
there.
I
with
can't
that.
believe I missed the Sox one, though. That's not good.
No, that's definitely
Yeah,
not
my
good.
dad wouldn't be happy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 for DJ Petruzzelli. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Zach Court right now. Zach, you need this one. Which classic rock band, probably Canada's best, is from Winnipeg? Classic rock band, probably Canada's best, one of the most famous Canadian bands of all time, from Winnipeg. But classic rock, so again, you have to go back a ways. But I know these guys still get talked about in Winnipeg. I know that they do. You need this. You do not want to wear the CCC.
Looks like I'm wearing the CCC.
Oh, you got to give me a guess at least.
I have absolutely no idea. Not a classic rock guy.
Not a classic rock guy. Do you know the song American Woman?
Yes, I do.
Do you know who sings that song?
No, I do not.
The Guess Who? Burton Cummings, Randy Bachman. You go 4 for 7, and that is not good. You have to wear the dreaded CCC. I'm going to pull out the CCC in a moment. What that stands for, it's the Clippers Cat Cap. And we're going to make you wear it on Off the Ice, the Clippers Hockey Show.
What is that?
DJ, pass that down to Zach. He's going to put that on his head. It's the Clippers Cat Cap. Clipper colors.
Fits pretty well.
You're wearing it very well. We actually pulled that out a couple of years ago. We did a TV show. It was an arm wrestling show. And the idea was that everyone had to pick a nickname. And a guy from Minnesota named Bo Brower was actually Bo the Bengal Tiger Brower. He wore that cap. So you're in good company. Bo's a guy that's gone on to a college career now, and that he's the last Nanaimo Clipper to wear the Clipper Cat Cap, the dreaded CCC. Guys, you're great sports. Thank you very much. And looking forward to the games this week.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Dan.
Zach Court wearing the CCC, DJ Petruzzelli here on Off the Ice. And we don't have a correct trivia answer yet, so we're going to switch gears a little bit here. Joe, give the question one more time.
The Clippers need a road win tomorrow in Alberni Valley. Their road record is 3-6-0-1. Who was their last road win against? Was it Merritt, Cowichan, or Coquitlam?
Well, the answer was the Merritt Centennials. So Coquitlam, we had a few Coquitlam guesses. They haven't played Cowichan on the road yet. What we're going to do is, after 8 o'clock, the first caller through to Joe is going to take the tickets. You didn't get the trivia question, so we're going to do it the easy way. First caller, 760-1069, after 8 o'clock to give Joe a call. You're going to get a pair of Nanaimo Clipper tickets, good for any upcoming Clipper home game. Wrapping up the show, a big thank you to Zach Court and DJ Petruzzelli. Fantastic sports. We played Where Are You From? About Winnipeg, Manitoba, and Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Zach from Winnipeg and DJ from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. And Zach, he lost the game, had to wear the dreaded Clippers Cat Cap. He looked great in it, though. Mike Vandekamp joined us off the top to talk about the Clippers road trip. For Joe, this is Dan. So long from Off the Ice.
You've been listening to Off the Ice, the Clippers Hockey Show. Join us again next Monday night at 7 on Nanaimo's Rock 106.9 The Wolf.